have.
I don't think there are any anymore. We had SARS. It was over with.
But you're not really Canadian. You stop by there for a while.
On occasion.
Okay.
But she loved her kids. She would have never left them.
You know,
What about her husband, Sam?
talented to the point of distraction. I remember it would come to my line, and I'd just be watching so intently.
Yeah.
Sorry. My line.
Like what just happened to us.
I'm not going to sit here and deny that. But if Sam thought our daughter was in trouble, why didn't he report her missing right away?
Just enough
Why
heat,
didn't he
enough
call for
frustration.
help?
He
Even if
builds,
she'd
he
gotten
builds,
locked up, she'd been better off than...
controls it, reins it in.
What the
Just
hell's the difference? I mean,
I love this scene too,
the time to ask
because
these questions
it,
was 5 years ago.
where the episode
The cop
goes,
who
which
was on
we
the
won't
case then
say
didn't
now,
ask
but
them.
with the scene and what he did in the scene, you would never ever see the ending coming.
yeah.
And this is a great script.
Well, also, you know, what's interesting about it is how the case affects Beckett emotionally. And, you know, this is one of those things where underplaying it makes it more intriguing, you know, what's going on beneath the surface with Stana's character.
This man, I can't remember
Another
his last
fine
name.
actor.
Peter. Do you guys know his last name? I grabbed him in the middle of taping while they were changing setups, and he's worked with John Huston, Orson Welles,
Yeah.
and so on. And we just sat down, and he has the best John Huston imitation in the world.
Really?
And just told me story after story. He's fascinating, really wonderful actor.
He his wife used to work with my girlfriend, so I would see him at like these little get-togethers, and I just, you know, he and I would end up in a corner, and I would just be picking his brain,
Yeah.
and just telling him how much I loved him. I hope he didn't take that the wrong way.
Don't you dare play Monday morning quarterback.
Perfectly cast.
Absolutely.
Oh, he did a great job with this role. Made him just despicable enough.
Anything I asked, you did.
Did you know he was murdered too?
Gunned down on the street over a year ago.
Look, what do you want from me? We had reports of her in Philly with a meth head ex-boyfriend. I mean, it was what
There
it
were some
was.
talky extras that day, too.
Ooh.
Background artist.
You schooled him, though. You schooled him. Oh, did you?
I asked them to just please be quiet so I could work.
She walked
Is
over,
that the truth?
Put her hands on their shoulders, got in between them, and just, hey guys, would you do me a favor? Kind of, just very politely said, but to have to tell someone to shut up
The
while
fact
filming,
that she was there.
yeah,
She was only missing.
it was nicely done.
No, Sheriff, she was already
Did they
dead.
feel a little
You just didn't know
Balkan
Admonished. I would hope they
badass
would.
there?
I would hope
Huh?
they would.
I heard him talking actually at lunch, and they said
Where I
that
come from,
she was flirting with him.
people who speak out of school, you know what we do?
What do you guys do?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that what you were doing to him a little bit?
They were very kind afterwards. They were apologetic.
My dad?
Now this driving scene here, this was done
It's process.
on stage.
It's on
process,
stage. Yeah.
Right? There were several of these, and I thought they are pretty seamless. Some of the best.
They're
Process.
meant to look real, so you don't notice it. But what it really does is it allows us to focus on the performance
Oh,
and
absolutely.
the dialogue.
It's controlled that way, right?
And we don't have to deal with the police and not that we don't like them, but it's a very uncomplicated,
Right.
time-efficient way to do it. And it also creates a lot of opportunities for intimacy between the two people in the car because they're in a bubble.
Right.
And they're in between things, so you can converse about kind of anything.
You don't have to be like, there's no radio, there's no stop and go with a truck and a.
Right.
I was really sick this day. It was crazy.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah.
It's nice because we just plant the seed where Castle notices the watch. And I think I wasn't listening to dialogue if that's where he asked about the father.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So we've just sort of pushed a tiny snowball off the top of the mountain that's going to become, a huge boulder that's going to hit Beckett and the rest of the audience at the end of the show. It's one of the nice, sleeping giants that's going to occur for the audience here.
This is also the episode I discovered that when John and Seamus aren't on set working, they're in the trailer playing PlayStation.
Was that this episode?
That's when I found out.
What game was that? Soul Calibur?
That's, yes,
Did I beat you many times at that game?
twice out of 18, but very close.
Right. Twice out of 18. That's a little exaggerated.
I know a guy who works over there.
Yeah, the other thing about this night, I came down on set and Nathan had done something very nice, which he had the coffee truck out. And oftentimes on the TV show when you're shooting, either the writer of the episode or, Nathan taking a leadership role to reward the crew and just, pat them on the back for their hard work, we get a catering truck or a coffee truck out there.
Yeah,
Or a yogurt truck.
Or a yogurt truck.
Check.
yeah. There's a lot of trucks you can get coming
Lot
out
of
to a set.
Pasta trucks,
Mongolian food
The
truck.
pasta was amazing.
rotisserie chicken truck.
Oh, that was a good truck.
That was a really good truck.
Yeah.
The burgers
I
were
didn't
bad.
Burger truck was good too.
rent a truck this year. I didn't do that. I didn't do
No, you
that.
didn't.
I didn't do
Yeah,
that.
we all talked about that.
On the last episode, on the last night, my wife and I got a fresh homemade donut truck, and this woman was out there making these homemade donuts.
It was a day after I was finished.
And we thought we were really cool, but we didn't know that Nathan had gotten the Carl's Jr. truck. So we had like this little donut stand, and then suddenly, this giant truck, this huge Winnebago shows up.
Well, just to tell you, I would have gone for the homemade donuts.
I would have.
They were great.
I would have gone for both.
You had a meal and you had dessert.
Yep.
That's right. The Nikki Heat thing was about
Your hair is just popping there.
It is so red right there.
Hello, Ginger.
You put things in a freezer.
I think you're jealous.
Would you
of
say
my
this scene
hair.
epitomizes the father-daughter relationship in Castle?
I think it definitely does, because, I think my character really helps Castle solve these crimes in her own way, and I think that's something that I'd really like to see more of.
Do you think your character is kind of unwittingly helping him, or do you think you're actually?
I think at the beginning I'm a little concerned because he's taking it a little far, but I think I get really interested in what's going on.
So you want to help. You want to give your.
I want to help, definitely.
You think that you're
Are we talking about the character or the actor?
Malik?
The character.
Oh, okay.
This is Malik. Malik and I. Malik I met on my very first big old job ever. One Life to Live.
Really?
Oh, Malik was on the show at that time.
Was that back east?
That's New York City, New York City.
He's also a really good friend of mine. I was really excited. Actually, I don't know if you remember this day, but I wasn't shooting yet. I'd come to the set, but I saw that Malik, a really good friend of mine, was gonna be on set, and I ran down to the set and I interrupted.
I just thought that was because you're lonely.
Well, that too.
This was the day that there was
I just needed a hug.
a shooting on the 10 freeway.
Ah, yes.
Somebody was murdered in the middle of the night on the freeway, and many of the people in the crew were delayed.
By hours.
But
Yeah, they shut the freeway down.
They shut the freeway down, and Brian, who's directing this episode, called me and said, "I still have 12 hours of work to do, but I have to do it in 10 hours."
Wasn't that the first day of the episode?
I don't know,
He
but
started his first day off like 2 hours behind.
Yeah, he was started out in the hole. But
Did great
he's
work.
got to march on.
Oh, this guy was lovely.
I modeled with that guy in a GQ magazine.
I was going to say bikini.
Well, he was in the bikini.
That's enough of that story. Molly, hi.
Minor.
Hi.
Again.
Yeah, but there's nothing X-rated about that. He likes bikinis.
I
Male.
think you need to stop right now. You're kind of digging a hole for yourself.
Yeah, you got to be careful because, we may have some real
mom's out
fans
there.
watching the commentary.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
may be the sort of people who write fan fiction. And Esposito might end up in some of that fan fiction
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a way you might not want to see him.
Probably talk about the scene.
I think this is the last scene that we shot for the episode just before Christmas break.
I think you're right.
And
Oh, yeah, this episode was split. We did half of it before the break and then half of it after.
yeah, we were really hauling butt to get to this scene. And this guy just, he lifted it all because everyone was ready to crash just before we shot it. And this actor really kept us going. It was nice.
He's a really good actor.
It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, that scene.
Really?
I remember time.
The one thing you'll notice about the plates that we use in the process shot here is that there's not that much traffic in New York and not too many red lights.
Oh yeah, they never stop.
Just cruising through the city.
That's right. Obviously on the FDR.
Okay, you speak, Guy. If Sam had a lover, would his best friend know about it?
Yes.
It's a very cool way to get dialogue done without.
That's why we did a trim there. The original line was yes, especially if she was hot.
This was all shot in that the new downtown loft
Yeah.
area,
District, yeah.
loft district, which
I bought a carpet next door.
You did buy a
I
carpet
used to blow things up and do car chases and
in that same area down there, right?
yeah.
Now it's residential.
No, yeah, it's all can't do it anymore.
There's this whole area of downtown that they use for shooting, and we were down there one day, and I think there were like 3 other shoots within a mile of us.
Oh yeah, right across the street. Their base camp was right across the street from ours.
Yep.
Castle. Why am I here?
Very busy part of LA.
Does the name Samuel Kavanaugh ring a bell?
How do you
What about him?
how do you plan your
We found the
approach
body
in
of
these scenes?
his
Because I know you map them out.
Melanie.
How do you do that?
She was killed somewhere around the time the two of you were
You don't want to give the secrets?
Do you sometimes write your lines in your notebook?
When you're looking